Hello and welcome to episode 38 of The Boy and the Bear. I am Stephen, the neutral in the room. I am joined as always by Celtic fan Patrick. How are we doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks. It's 38 episodes. That's an entire season's worth of Boy and the Bear games.
Yeah, maybe slightly happier about this season, Scotty boy. How you doing?
I'm great, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. I'm very well.
Good.
It has been a fairly positive week for both teams. Celtic with another dominating display in the league, and Rangers continuing their European exploits. But before we get into all of that, boys, let's start off on the positive note as always. I come in peace. Paddy boy, I'm going to come to you first, please, mate.
So, the question I can ask Scotty without him reacting or overreacting is as follows, Scotty.
Oh, God, here we go.
Following a fantastic performance in Europe,
Yes.
if you got to the Europa League final
Mm-hmm.
but finished third, as is currently, not off the charts,
No,
would that be a success?
I think you'd have to say, yes, you can't win a European trophy and not call it a success, but...
Said final, mate. Final.
There's no guarantee.
Sorry.
There's no guarantee you're
See,
winning.
mate, I've just got blinkers there, eh?
Did he lose the final, or did he get to, see that?
Yeah. What's the...
Imagine
How far
like,
did you get in the stream?
You've been the magic offer is that you're going to get to the final. You don't know the outcome, but you're finishing third.
Is there going to be water at this final?
That's, yeah. Am I going to have to drink out of a fucking other toilet bowl? Because if not, I'm not going. Oh, God. That's a good question, Pat. Aye, fuck it. Aye, why not? Yeah, aye, success. Getting to a European final, it's always fun. It's always a good enjoyment.
Do you know I totally agree with Scotty, because I think sometimes everybody's like, oh, we'll finish second to get here, or especially in England, I suppose, more than anywhere else. Oh, we finished second to get here, or we finished third to get into the Champions League. Yeah, but you're playing that season to then to go as far as you possibly can in that competition in the season. So why would you not take that?
Yeah, well, the other thing is, okay, we might finish third, but say we do win the Europa League final, we're into the Champions League automatically, right? So
that's a very good point.
So there you go. So yeah, I would say that's success. So
also no dropouts from the Champions League this year, so you would just be playing whoever's left in the competition.
Brilliant. Well, I mean, we did fairly well. So, aye.
You're used to a bunch of dropouts, aren't you, Scotty?
Phil Clement's bipolar Rangers. That's what it is, isn't it?
Now you've been smiling for about three minutes straight, Scotty, for the first time this series.
Oh, that's great.
Your coming piece to Pat, please.
So my coming piece to you is, I don't know if you saw this stat a few weeks ago, but it was Rangers, Celtic, two of the worst clubs for giving under 21 players in Scotland a chance. Would you sacrifice some of your success to bleed more youngsters into your team?
Oh, it's a great question.
Sacrifice it to Rangers?
No, just sacrifice. Well, mate, I'll take it, but just sacrifice the dominance.
Please play players not good enough. To be something. That's what you've just.
Please, I need it for the sanity. But yeah, no, I think if you would like.
Well, it depends. It's a funny time you should ask that question, because last weekend's game where we won 3-0 against Ross County, 5-0 at half time. You're going, right, okay, well, this is the perfect point to bring on some young players and see what they've got in a completely pressure-free environment, relatively. And there was no academy prospect on our bench to bring on. And, part of that's because Rodgers was already playing a slight fringe team, and so he wanted to give minutes to regulars. But that's where you're just thinking, when am I ever going to get this chance,
Yeah.
Like that young lad Francis Turley that had a great cameo last season, and even the season before that, left back Mitchell Frame played in the Champions League for us. We thought, right, okay, good, there's some good youth players coming through.
Yeah.
But I would counter that by saying, our best youth player of the last 5 years was Ben Doak, who did get a chance and played the Celtic Rangers game, and now is looking like Scotland's most exciting attacking player. Our captain is a Celtic Academy graduate.
Yeah.
He's going to be a one-club man. James Forrest, if he'd scored at the weekend, would have scored for 15 consecutive seasons. He's a one-club man. So I don't think Celtic's Youth Academy isn't doing its job, or hasn't been doing its job, rather, but I do sort of wonder who the next one is, because when McGregor and Forrest eventually do go, I don't know where
Who's
that
come through?
legacy player is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tierney.
Well,
But
if it comes back.
Can I just add to that? Sorry, it's interesting because obviously I think, obviously with the Ben Doak situation, if you want to use him as an example, do you think players like that, we've seen it from Rangers and Celtic, that these type of players go at the first opportunity down south? And yes, okay, there's an argument to be made to get more money, but do you think...
Not even down south, like we've lost players to Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
I think 2 players to Bayern Munich in the last 5 years at least.
Well, I'm just using like the Premier League clubs down south like as an example, but the reason I'm saying that is, do you think because these players know that there isn't much of a pathway into the first team, and they're getting poached for a wee bit more money, they think, well, I might as well and see if I can make it down there, and if not, I'll get well paid. Is there... I thought I've had a few times, like, if both teams had more of a pathway to first team regular football, maybe we wouldn't lose as many promising youngsters.
Yeah, there's that.
Ben Doak played in a Celtic Rangers game though.
No, I know, but 1 or 2 appearances for Celtic, and then I know Liverpool obviously is the big draw, right? But
listen, you're not going to go to Liverpool.
No, you're not.
There's some clubs and moves that you're just going to make. It doesn't matter what age you are. But the frustration is when you hear about these clubs tapping up youngsters that are like 14, 15.
Yeah,
it's... I don't know.
So look at like us, for example, right? We lost Billy Gilmore to Chelsea at 16, and then we've lost Rory Wilson at 16 to Aston Villa. Do you know what I mean? So it's like they were the 2 big prospects outside of Nathan Patterson from Rangers that we never actually got to see play in a Rangers jersey, despite my biased opinion at times. But I just think if both teams had more of a regular pathway, would we see that rate of losing these players drop off? That's...
Can I just add something? I think you guys, and I'm gonna say Rangers more than Celtic at the moment, simply because you're losing. I think fans have to take a little bit of responsibility for this, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you don't accept not winning every weekend, and nor maybe should you have been Rangers and Celtic, but it's very different maybe for like mid-table teams. So like Aberdeen, I say mid-table, that's been a bit harsh in Aberdeen, the second league. But you know what I mean? Like predominantly teams that would finish anywhere between kind of 3rd and 7th most seasons, to bring through youth players that can then drive that business model forward. You can't do that at Rangers and Celtic.
No.
You have to win every single week, and a manager can't take a risk because you usually normal seasons, if you're 5-6 points behind one another, you're sacked.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to say, Steve, is the Ross County game was the absolute perfect example. And Rodgers turns to his bench and then realises, oh wait, there's not a single academy prospect on this bench because the game's won. I
understand that, Pat. So, but to even that out, you were the one, and not just you, but you as a fan base, Celtic as a fan base, said that you needed to add to your squad in the transfer window. So you can't say we didn't add enough players and then be like, oh well, at least he's playing youth players, because he has to play those players that he's brought in, and he has to mix the squad up to keep everybody happy. So it's
but I'd argue
kind of
that Kuhn, Engels or Kyogo could have made do with not coming off the bench for 1 week, and you could have brought on a young player in any one of those positions. The first team regulars didn't necessarily have to to come on and play a game there,
but they deserve to, mate. I mean, and it keeps the rhythm going and stuff. And
so sometimes you can be victims of your own success, and you can't you can't win every single battle as a manager. But to answer your question, Scotty, I wouldn't sacrifice any success, because you can't argue with the success that we've had recently.
But one
of the only criticisms I could point at Celtic, in the last few years, because our captain and our longest serving player are academy graduates, right? So it's harsh you can't really knock that. But yes, I would agree that there was a perfect opportunity there Saturday to bed some young players, and we didn't. And hopefully, given that the league's won now, we can play some young players for the rest of the season.
Aberdeen might win it. You never know.
That is me calling the league. That's it.
I'll say it again quickly though. They have to be good enough to the biggest clubs in Europe still. So the players have to be good enough.
But I also think as well, I think you look at some of the biggest teams out, in Europe, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. These teams give opportunities to good youth players as well. Do you mean? And they actually get an opportunity.
It's because they're fucking class.
No, I know they're fucking class. But what my point is, they're not afraid to throw them in.
Better than Barry from Motherwell.
I know. But what I'm saying is, they're not afraid to give them the opportunity. whereas we seem to stagnate them very young. Oh, they're coming through at 16, very promising, maybe have a sniff at the first team, and then we don't see them again until they're 19 years old. And it's like 2.5 years, 3 years where their development stagnated, and then they get an opportunity, and all that early promise has faltered.
Straight on to compliments, please. Let's keep this good nature going. Scott, your compliment for Patrick, please.
I've said it once, I'll say it again, and I probably won't say it for the last time this season.
You just copy and paste in compliments.
Well, it's hard to
Celtic
disagree.
scored a good goal at the weekend.
No, I was just going to say the amount of goals that you guys are scoring is impressive. You don't seem to have as many difficulties away from home, at home, in league, in cup competitions as we do. You just seem to be able to score at will. Free flowing scoring. So I would just like to compliment you guys on that. It's obviously it's the only thing
best performance of the season versus Ross County.
No, not quite.
No.
Up there, not quite.
Philippe Clement would have said that.
No, he would have said that 2012 against Annan Athletic is the best performance. That's what he would have said. So
Philippe Clement would have said, "Listen, Rangers are clearly the best team because we beat them 6-0." But my compliment to you, Scotty, I've written one word. I've written nice, because that is also nice, and that's a ridiculous performance. And
it was brilliant, mate.
Quite often, if Rangers are playing in Europe, I'll sort of make my dinner, sit down, and look forward to watching a good scalping.
Not this season,
and particularly not that night. And
very well.
It's one of those nights where you go, even though they're the rivals, it's like, Jesus, fair play. Like
I think you've got
a hell of a result, and away from home as well. Just what is it about Rangers sometimes? Even when you, it's such confusing, because this isn't the only season where you've had a howler domestically, but a completely different team turns up in Europe.
It's like a total well coached, organised,
everything that you
disciplined team. Yeah, that's what I mean. I was just going to say that it's like we look like a coached, well organised, fit team that can play football, and then you watch us on Sunday, and it looks like we've never played together, or it looks like we've got no idea how to break down a defence or anything.
Would you say that's the pressure?
I don't know if it's the pressure or not, because I think there's pressure in Europe as well. We've had a lot of success with the last number of years in that.
How much you won?
In Europe, mate. I'm saying in Europe.
How much have you won, though?
But we've been consistently into the latter stages of European competition, and for a Scottish team, it's very hard to do. You guys will know that all too well.
Loads of trophies.
We still get papped out more than us, mate. So pipe down and drink your tea. Anyway,
still technical and compliments.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm trying to say is, it's.
What are you
difficult.
trying to say?
I don't know. It's just difficult. It's. I just try to say that it's a Jekyll and Hyde performance from Rangers, and it's 1 minute you're like
I noted on that Nice drew with PSG this season, so they are no mugs. Although at the weekend they did get beat 4-1.
But all I
still sixth in the league. So
no, they were fifth at the time of us playing them. They hadn't been beaten all season, so I think they might have had a terrible defence on that night, but I think you've got to give credit to Rangers. Like, they pressed them into playing so poorly.
They have been beat, mate, but
have they?
Quite a few times.
Not at home though. Not at home. They went on in the season. Not this.
Not at home. No.
Yeah. So thank you. Right. Thank you.
But
Clement to Belgium still on, or do you think his PR team are going to spin it?
I think he might go.
Now?
I think it's Nice, mate. I think it's a nice transition over to France.
What a lot of absolute shite.
Well, straight on to your two soonest and a Seabold then, please, Scott. I can imagine your manager might get a mention again.
Well, I think one of the first positives for me, obviously, from Thursday night is the emergence of Igaman. I think his 2 goals took him really well. The second one's like absolutely brilliant. You think he's obviously nutmegged the boy, and then you're thinking, right, he's just going to play it to Tierney. And he just takes a wonderful finish, like round the keeper, and like, okay, that's an excellent finish. And I think it was like that performance that he probably needed. He's been struggling for goals, and his.
Hey, listen, Scotty, credit where credit's due, because you have been banging that drum quite staunchly.
Yeah, I think
This was out the team and get someone else in.
But I think you got to look at it like Dessers. Obviously, yeah, I know Stevie bangs that drum about him scoring goals, but you look at his overall. Sorry,
I don't think Cyril Dessers is good enough to play football. I just think there's better scapegoats than Cyril
Yeah.
Dessers. That was my point.
Okay, fair enough. But I just think if you watch Iggerman's performance, the hold up play, he's bringing in his attackers, he's linking, he's drifting out wide to take defenders into positions they don't want to go, to allow midfielders to do the running, to get into the box and make those forward runs. I think you compare that to Dessers, and it's very like ball to his feet, and if it doesn't get right there, he won't really move for it. He's not willing to battle, whereas Iggerman,
it's like playing fives with you.
I mean, I'm more of an ankle biter, ankle cruncher, rather than a touch and finesse type of player. So that's why I'm sitting here behind a couch, not playing.
Finesse is not ordered.
No.
It was just shouting move.
Yeah, it's passive aggressive, isn't it? But no, I just think it was nice to see him. I thought his touches were excellent. He brought everyone else in the game. He had some wonderful skill, like that one where I don't know what the hell he was trying to do, but he absolutely flummoxed the defender and then played that across the box. I thought, this kid's got it. I just think he's a young striker. He needs a bit of time, and I'm happy with that. I'm honestly happy as a Rangers fan. This season is a bit shit, right? But if we're going to get these young guys in that got the promise, give them time, and then if he's getting a decent goal return and he's getting more confident in the league and he's getting used to the league, you never know, next year we could have an absolute beast of a striker in our hands.
How did he play the weekend?
Did alright, actually. Did alright. Yeah, he did alright.
St Johnstone on goal.
No,
that's the
yeah,
confusing thing.
No, but I was just going to get to that. Sorry, I was just going to say, like, okay, yeah, he didn't score at the weekend, right? And it's a different test, and that's what I was saying. He needs the experience up against, the big burly hammer throwing type defenders are just going to smash you the whole time, whereas the continent defenders aren't really going to be doing. They're more wanting to play, and they've got maybe more footballing ability.
I don't know about that. Did you see the size of some of the Bruges defenders? Like, fuck, even
big lads. But they can still play football whereas like the run of the mill Scottish defender is just a big burly bruiser that's just going to boot you up and down the 6-yard box. So I think he's going to need a season to get used to this type of physicality in the league. But I think the more games he gets, the more comfortable he'll get in the league, and he can only grow from there. I think it's a much more positive sign for Rangers to start him in games or come on in games, because it represents the future. Dessers is a 30-year-old striker. He's not going to get any better. Iggerman's a 22-year-old or 21, something like that, striker that's only going to go and improve.
Would you say it's a telltale sign that Dessers didn't even get off the bench at the weekend, that he put Danilo on in front of him? I think if all players are fit, he's third choice Rangers striker.
Absolutely. I think he has to be. I think if Danilo can keep himself fit and get himself back in, I think he might be the first choice. Then Iggerman, just because of his age, will be the second choice. But I think Dessers has to be third choice. I think his performances over the last couple of months have merited third choice. I mean, he's only played because the other two aren't up to the fitness wise. That's the only reason he's been playing. So yeah, I think it's nice to see him getting a chance. My other soon is the return of Hyde. I keep banging that drum. I've been banging that drum all pre-season.
What about you drumming this week?
Oh. Some say it might be the Protestant blood in me. Who knows? But just get that big drum. But no, I think.
Hang on, I need to analyse that. Get a big drum, and then what sort of fucking sound?
Just I was trying to. I was hoping you have a drum sound effect, mate. But
no, I'm going to leave you high and dry.
Nah, don't you leave me high and dry, you bastard. That was an audible, so you could clip it into a drum.
Well, we're filming this episode. Now.
Yeah, I know you can. But anyway, right. So
see on Hadji, Scott. Yeah. Like I feel like that's a situation that completely sums up the season you've had, because a decent player kept out in the cold for
no fault of his.
And to be honest, what looks like bad management.
No, I agree with Pat. I don't think it's. I think if you look at his situation last year with Michael Beale, right, he just returned from an injury. It was a was an important part in Steven Gerrard's team. Got
Who's back
injured.
with Gerrard now, by the way.
No, I know. I saw that. But all I'm going to say, I'm not going to mention, but I think for the Hadji situation, he came back from an injury, expressed his intention, his desire to play for Rangers. Michael Beale had bought these new players and thought, I'm going to shunt you out to the side. I don't really want you, Hadji, even though he's proven that he can be a success here, and he's of a higher ability than most players that we've got in the team. So through no fault of his own, he gets shunted out, and then he comes back, and Clement clearly doesn't want him, right? Hence why I try to get rid of him. That doesn't materialise, and then he's sitting playing for the B team, a Romanian international player playing. Played at the Euros, did really well at the Euros for his national team, and then sitting playing for Rangers B team. I think that's a total clusterfuck of a situation.
Was it something to do with
Yeah, they say it was a wage dispute. They're saying
if he played a game more, it'd be liable to a rise in wages.
Yeah, just Rangers living wage employer. Here's your £6.25, son. Off you go to the shop and get your carton of milk.
I think that sums everything up.
Yeah, I think this season Rangers have been an absolute shambles, as we all know.
Yeah, do you know what I properly laughed at though? When I was reading the document, it's obviously you boys put your two positives and a negative, right? You said your two positives are the emergence of Rangers attacking players, and what's your negative?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say this. My negative is the lack of away goals, the lack of goals in this team. But we can go away to Nice and score 4 goals, right? And then come to the league and we've only got 3. And I've got a wee stat for you boys, which is embarrassing and just continues to summarise Rangers' situation. So, Rangers so far this season have scored 3 away goals. Thank you. Round of applause.
2 by their own players.
Yeah, well, Jason Holt's a Rangers agent, isn't he? So there you go, Holty. There's a wee bonus for you. But the Celtic captain has 5 away goals this season.
By himself? Oh my goodness.
Yes, so that just tells you. But I think
Liam Scales has got more goals this season than you've got away goals. But I don't have the facts in front of me.
I saw the Callum McGregor one, so I thought, given he's the Celtic captain,
you're not happy enough with that stat. You just had to come back with another one.
Aye, look, we can't just accept that I've done research for once.
Not even for your own team.
No,
in a positive manner.
But
research, mate. You scrolled on Twitter, saw it, and remembered it. That's not research.
I did actually count all the goals myself, mate. So I went and checked the games. So yeah, up you. But my criticism about the away goals is, I think the setup from Clement, the formation doesn't help. It's quite slow in the build up. It's not fast. It's not trying to play 1-2s, and it's just really slow possession based. It doesn't work away from home. You need to try and break them down and try and get them turning if you can.
Also, no dodgy penalties this season either.
The Masons have retired, mate.
Masons are away, mate. What's going on? I wonder how many of your away goals last year were penalties.
15.
Cut them out. You're bang average.
Been bang average for 2 years, mate.
As well.
Yeah, bang average for 2 seasons, 3 seasons, 4 seasons, 5. Just fucking carry on, mate.
They've turned the Masons against us.
Penalty emergence. Just quickly, Scotty, what's because I think this is the first time you've ever gone 25 minutes without mentioning his name. How's Tavernier been in the last couple of games?
Yeah, I haven't had a complaint, but I've been saying to you boys, out with the podcast, I've been saying that you need to utilise Tavernier in the right way. He cannot.
Was he not dropped in these?
He didn't play, but he played at St Johnstone. But what I'm saying is he can't play every game. He's played every game for the last 6 seasons at Rangers. I mean, that is brilliant. He's always available, so credit to him. But I think it has to come a point naturally in anyone's career where you have to start managing your minutes. To get the best out of him, you have to do that. And I think he played all right. He was involved in the own goal. He attacked it, and Holt just wanted to get the glory. So, but I think he's put the pressure on Holt there to cause that mistake. So, yeah, credit to him. I don't have a problem with him. It's the big games. I don't think he's got the legs anymore. Especially
he'll start the cup.
Oh, he will start the cup final because apparently Dujon Sterling's got a slight knock. So if he's not, so that's
a blow.
It's a big blow because he's been really very, very impressive. So, yeah.
Listen, onto yourself, Paddy. 2 decanos and a do away, please.
Nice try.
Do away.
So it was going to be the lack of youth, so it was quite good that Scotty brought that up earlier. So my negative, my do away, is probably the European performance was just a bit flat. And I think, 2 things can be true at the same time. It's hard, if not impossible, just to replicate a performance because you've done it before. Like, if it was that easy, then football wouldn't work because everyone would just turn up and play the exact same every single week. But it felt surprisingly flat, particularly in the first half. It sort of, we've reverted back to type and went back to sort of old school Celtic in Europe. Like the Carter Vickers own goal was just...
I did chuckle at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen eventually, but I mean, it's just comical Celtic in Europe stuff. And I thought, Bruges were unlucky not to score immediately straight after that. And I think if they had, could have been a very, very bad night. Rallied well in the second half and probably had the better of the second half. But yeah, it just felt flat, especially when you compared, like, the last home Champions League game is probably the best I've ever seen Celtic play. So it was hard to go to that. It sort of came out of nowhere a little bit, which is a wee bit concerning.
Well, it was actually going to be one of my questions, Pat, is whether you've seen it as just a concern or a one-off. And I was sitting thinking about it. Do you think there's an element where it's an expectancy sort of thing? So, like, realistically, if you'd drawn against Leipzig, that would have been seen as a good result, but you went and it's probably, you said it was the Celtic's best performance that you can actually remember. Do you think that then turns to a little bit of expectancy where the crowd in the stadium actually think Celtic should be winning that game? So when it starts to not go that way...
Yeah, I think you're a victim of your own success, for sure. But I do think also in any season, I think Club Brugge are the kind of team that you would turn up to Celtic Park and expect to see a really good performance, if not a win. So I think that's a justified,
But they're also one of the only teams in the Champions League who wouldn't turn up and try and play Celtic in a dominant fashion. So I mean, you're on the front foot. It's almost like playing a Scottish League game.
They're a decent side, though.
They were a good team, and like after all said and done, a point is a decent result. Like, I'll take it and move on. Like, especially with that performance, I thought, and that all of a sudden that Celtic unbeaten in 4 home Champions League games, and like I did not see that coming a year ago. So sometimes you just need to hold your hold your hands up and say,
hold the hands up to the sky.
Exactly. My positive is, and I'd like to take a wee bit of credit where credit's due as well, because I've been talking about Luke McCowan as a future Celtic captain and a player that I just think is going to be brilliant for Celtic, and 3 assists and a goal in one half. Granted, one of his assists was just passing the ball to Cal McGregor, who just thunder bastarded it straight in the net. But like, he was just so energetic and brilliant. And it's one of those annoying ones where if he was from Argentina and called something like Cowinho, people would be like, "Oh my god, Ballon d'Or!" But because he's Scottish, it's just a less glamorous player. I can't believe you just
said that.
Yeah, that's.
But do you know what I mean? Sometimes
he's not even in Celtic's first 11, and you're saying if he was Argentinian, he'd be winning Ballon d'Ors.
No, I said
it's not even in the Scotland squad yet either.
No, I said this is what the fans would be saying. They'd be saying, "Oh my god, what a signing we've made!" But because it's a signing from Dundee, it's seen as less glamorous and a bit more, "Oh, look at him, hasn't he done well?" Celtic fan. I'm like, no, take this guy at face value. He's been an absolutely brilliant signing. And I just think if it had been a bit of a higher profile transfer or a bit more glamorous, people would be absolutely raving about him, because every game he's played in, he's contributed really positively. And I would be playing him over Engels or Hatate on current form. Oh yeah, absolutely. He was absolutely brilliant. Bossed the show. And the same with Paulo Bernardo. There's an argument, given by the Ross County performance, to say that on form, midfield 3 of McGregor, Bernardo and McCowan is our strongest. So gives Rodgers a real headache, I think.
That's a change from a few months ago when you were saying that Engels is like the second coming.
Yeah. Engels started so well.
But still come good.
I think he's a good player. I'm just meaning
I think he'll come good as well. And I think Celtic fans have been far too critical of Engels as well. I think he's been just fine.
You're just trying to make him Matt O'Reilly, aren't you?
Yeah. But that's Luke McCowan. So, and the other positive was I just love getting a win away at Tynecastle. Like, because Hearts absolutely hate us. So see when you spank them 4-1, you listening, Kenny? It's just an amazing amazing feeling, and Celtic just bossed it. I went into that quite worried. I thought, surely Shankland's got to start scoring at some point. Thank God we didn't buy him. He has been dreadful this season.
I feel sorry for him. I think
I
the
watched
fans
I watched some of Aberdeen Hearts yesterday, and my God, they're miles off it.
Right. But have you seen the fans turn on him as well? And folk are saying, obviously on X, like, what are you doing? Like, he got us into the Conference League by himself last year. I think fans are obviously quite, both of us included, are fickle. We can maybe remind ourselves that sometimes players are humans and they might be going through stuff, or they might have struggles, and we don't know. Maybe be a bit nicer,
Well said, but it was shite.
Yeah.
League done?
Yes, for me.
I think it's hard. It's hard to admit so early on, but yeah, I think it's done. I don't think we're going to catch them at all. I mean,
Did you think Aberdeen had more chance than you?
Oh, I think Aberdeen had more chance. Probably, yeah.
Because they were shocking yesterday as well.
Yeah, they've kind of.
Their bubble might be bursting.
Yeah,
if I was a Rangers fan, I'd be a lot more hopeful about getting second.
Yeah, but I'm gonna. That's what I was just about to say. I think the chance of getting first is. I don't think it's going to happen. But the good thing is, second is now reachable again. So
by the time we're recording, Scotty, like this is we record on the Monday evening. On Wednesday, it's Celtic versus Aberdeen at Portaudry. That feels pretty.
Yeah,
massive.
For
probably
for
not
both.
for Aberdeen.
Well,
who would you rather win, Scott?
Good one, mate. I think just given where we are at this season.
Oh my God, you can't say that.
A score draw.
No draw. Who would you rather win?
I think just to try and catch them, I think you're gonna have to say a Celtic win, aren't you? Because obviously we can't.
Scotty,
we can't catch you.
Come on, no, you're all right. We'll watch the game together. We'll both cheer on Celtic together. Eh?
I'm braiding my hair, so I'm alright, mate. So, thanks.
Find another drum to bang.
Yeah.
Well, listen, at the time of this recording, as Pat just said, we are actually going to be doing a live episode for the Cup final, but we don't have an episode coming out beforehand. So I am going to ask you boys for your Cup final predictions. Scotty, considering you just said you want Celtic to win a game, I'm going to let you rectify that.
I'm going to go
Rangers. Clarify, Rangers. You want Rangers to win a game, and then give me your prediction. Please.
Absolutely, obviously. But you were saying Celtic versus Aberdeen, and I was saying the realistic chance of us is to get second. So
don't need to re-explain it, mate. You want?
No, I do. But I'm going to go for a Hail Mary. I'm just going to go out there and say...
You're going to say go for a Hail. That's what we're doing on Wednesday together.
Well, no chance. I'm going to say 2-1 Rangers Cup final. There we go. How about that? Yeah.
Any concerns you're playing Spurs 3 days before it?
There's already sweat trickling down my back. The thought of getting absolutely annihilated.
Done by Ange.
I'm just going to send Kulusevski to half everyone.
Done by Ange, and then lose a cup final to Brendan.
I think I'll just be the death of the Protestants, won't it?
It's the old 1-2, innit? You got to stun them and then you got to finish them off.
Yeah, rock 'em and sock 'em, innit?
But 2-1 Rangers.
2-1 Rangers. That's what I'm going for. Keep the faith.
4-2 Celtic.
Ooh. Is that an away game? We only scored one goal.
Well, I thought that was your home, was it not?
Got evicted, mate. Didn't pay the bill.
I think it's I mean, I'd love to look at the odds, but I actually would like to see if 4-2s are more likely result than 2-1. It seems extravagant, but
what do you think, Steve?
He's going to say 6-1 to Celtic, isn't he?
I mean, I didn't only check the Rangers had because I knew that Tottenham game was coming up. But who are you playing in the Champions League during the week? Is it at home or is it away?
Zagreb on the Tuesday.
Away?
Yeah.
I mean, playing on a Tuesday is a big advantage as well, I think.
In Croatia, to be fair.
It's a hard one.
I just can't see anything other than a Celtic win this current moment in time. I think it'll be 3-1 Celtic. I do think Rangers will score just because it's obviously an old firm game, but
makes for a better podcast.
It does make for a better podcast.
It'll be a Desser's assistant.
And if I say Rangers are going to win and use it on this form, there's absolutely no.
Oh, you're getting crucified. I've got to say Rangers.
I would say Rangers have got nothing to lose because everyone, even the Rangers fans, I'm like,
nah, you've got to go for it, man. I just
saying they expect to lose, so anything other than.
I just think we've had a lot of, obviously, we've talked about it. We've had a lot of like past trauma with previous old firm results, and James Taverner getting lit up by Dyson made it every time. So that is, the old kind of Vietnam flashbacks, if you will. So, but yeah, so it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting day. So,
Oh God! Right, moving swiftly on. So yet again, I feel like I say this every week. I've mixed it up a little bit, boys.
good lad.
What we have this week is 5 questions. These are both going to be answering the same questions. You're able to start answering the question at any point. So, Patrick, if you would like to answer the question, you simply say "Hail, hail," and if Scotty, you would like to answer the question, you simply say
Hail Mary.
Follow. Hail Mary. If you get that, Scotty, say for instance, you say follow, and get the answer to the question wrong, Patrick then gets one opportunity and a maximum of 10 seconds to get the answer correct. Failing so, no one gets the point, and we move on. The closest to 5 obviously wins. Any questions before we start?
Let's just get this over with.
Okay. Question number 1.
God.
Which Celtic player scored the winning goal in the 1967 European Cup final, securing their place as the Lisbon Lions?
Hail, hail. Stevie Chalmers.
Question 2. What was the score when Rangers defeated Leeds United in the 1992 Champions League qualifying round at Ibrox?
Hail, hail.
Paddy boy?
I don't know. I'm going to say 1-0.
Wrong. Scotty, you've got 10 seconds.
Was it not 3-2?
Fucking Jesus.
Well, no, it was 2-1. It's 3-2 in the aggregate, you bastard. Stupid cunt.
It was 2-1, and I can't give you a point this.
No. I was not 3-2 overall.
Question 3. In what year did both Rangers and Celtic compete in the Scottish League Cup final that ended a 7-1 victory, the biggest margin in the competition's history?
Oh, hail, hail. I think it's in the 50s. I'm not sure what year it was. So I'm going to say 59.
Wrong. However, I'm going to give Scotty a guess, and whoever's closest gets the point.
Well, I'll just
7-1.
When did you get 7-1, Scott?
I didn't say Celtic won.
Is it 9?
In the sun,
I think
Celtic
it's.
the Rangers won.
Can I get an extra 10 seconds for the also interrupting me?
3.
Okay, that's fine. I think I'm going to say 1952.
Wrong. It was 1957 and Celtic won, so Pat gets the point. Question 4. Who managed Rangers during their historic UEFA Cup run to the final in 2008?
Follow.
Oh my God. I think Pat got there first.
It's Walter Smith, wasn't it?
It was Walter Smith. Aye.
There was a lag on my computer. That's what I was going to say.
You like that, Scott?
No, that's fair. I knew that one, mate. I knew that one. I just wasn't quick enough off the draw. I did suffer concussion at the weekend, so I might be a bit laggy. So
You'd be a bit laggy, eh? You'd have buzzed in and gone 1957.
I would have said 1842.
Question 5. Question 5. Which Celtic player scored a hat-trick in their famous 6-2 victory over Rangers in the year 2000?
Hail, hail.
Paddy boy.
Chris Sutton.
Correct.
That's a clean sweep there, mate. Well done. Thank you. Brilliant. That's fantastic. You've been listening to Boy and the Bear. Hope you've had a great week. Enjoy yourself. We'll see you on the 15th for a live episode. Follow.
He's actually left.
You can email us your questions or complaints at theboyandthebear@gmail.com, and please share this podcast with your mates in group chats.
If you're listening to this, please do drop us a follow on Instagram. That's where we're trying to reach most of our potential audience. And also, if you do already, then please just send an Instagram page to people you know that like the pod as well, and get them to drop us a follow as well. That is where we're going to be putting everything. We think we're going to start a blue sky. Sadly, we don't have a green sky.
Yeah.
And we'll keep you updated on the Instagram.
We don't even have the blue half of this podcast in the episode anyway. And remember to subscribe and hit the notification channel on your chosen podcast provider. So you never...
That's Scotty.
Hello, I'm back. This is the podcast provider.
Oh, he's back.
It's the podcast signal. I just come whenever it's someone mentions podcast.
so that you never miss an episode. And if you could leave us a 5-star review for the podcast and not my pronunciation of words, that would be much appreciated.
It's gone to shite. I can't believe you said podcast and Scotty appeared again. Fucking hell. Hail. Or Hail Mary.
Follow. Until next time, friends.
See you soon, boys.
Jesus.
Bye.